Howdy, partner.
I don't feel like I can speak until you do that.
I like to wait. It's a great day.
It builds anticipation.
We're talking. Listen, I'll just start it off with the elephant in the room. Okay, last week Nick didn't want me to talk a whole lot. You know, he told me before the episode, Hunter, I really need you to just sit in the corner on this one. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I let y'all run with it. Y'all are the Orlando crew. You know, Epic Universe, and there's a part of me that with Epic Universe, I also want to experience firsthand. I don't know. I say that, but then Nick, I've told you, it's like I've looked at spoilers for rides like the day they came out. Sometimes.
You've never been like a non-spoiler guy.
But for rides, I don't know. Epic, I've done a good job of just like I've seen like the basic stuff, but I haven't dug into like, oh, tell me everything. I haven't done that yet. I'm excited to feet on the ground and experience it.
Which is different.
Made that decision.
That's different for you for sure. But also, you don't have to ever let us run with it. Like
I know.
Your feedback is welcome, like always.
I gave a little bit of feedback. I was worried about the escalator to Super Nintendo World. I thought that was going to be a big bottleneck.
This was a conversation that Hunter and I had after we recorded the episode. Before we even dropped the episode on Monday, I was just like, I literally.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah, I was like, why were you so quiet and reserved? But let's talk about this for a second. Let's get real.
Yeah, this is the get real portion of the episode.
Oh, I like that. That could stick.
We could call it Be Real. Oh, wait. Never mind. That's taken.
Oh, well, whatever.
Does that social media platform still exist?
I don't know. Francie used to do it.
It was a thing. Now it's not a thing.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Let's call it that. Be Real.
I
like Get Real. Let's get real.
Let's get real.
Let's get real. So
insert soundbite here.
So that's not in our budget right now. You just broke people's speakers.
Did I? I feel like I'm nicely balanced right now, but
no, it's good. It's good. Yeah, let's get real for a second. So Hunter also, like,
I'm socially awkward.
No, I don't want to say that. Well, maybe. No.
Listen, you can be honest with me.
No, I don't want to.
It's just me and you right here.
No.
Let's get real.
Not. Never is just us on this podcast.
Be critical of me.
No. Okay. But not socially awkward, but more shy than people would guess.
I need to warm up to people.
Yeah, it takes a minute for you to, like, before you're ready to really, like, just kind of be yourself. It takes a minute for you to, like, get to know someone, and that's really hard to do when you're jumping onto a podcast episode with someone that you've maybe met in person before.
I need to find that balance. My love language is picking on people, which obviously I know you well enough to where I could pick on you and have fun. But for someone I don't know well enough, they may just think I'm a jerk. So
right, or standoffish, or people would perceive it as me not allowing Hunter to speak, which is not the case. Like, and it's very similar.
Tell me before the episode, is like, hey, buddy, you're not Orlando. You should really just not say anything. Like,
I did not say that.
Yes, sir.
I would never say something like that. I welcome your feedback, because what we talked about before the episode was that you were like, I'm going to represent for the people that are not there, which I also am in the same boat. Like, I have not been to Epic Universe. You have as much access to information, maybe a little bit less because it's what I do for work, but you have about as. I think the other thing that is interesting with you with Epic is that you don't really connect to any of the IPs there, except for maybe Super Nintendo a little bit, barely.
Mario Kart.
Yeah. I think that's going to be. I think that's something that you should do.
I didn't grow up with any of that stuff, especially Harry Potter, as we talked about.
Right. Well, I mean, I didn't get into Harry Potter until later in life.
How to Train Your Dragon is a no.
How to Train Your Dragon came out in 2010, so I was in high school. Oh, it was not too late for me. I was in college, but I still went and saw the
That was in my phase of like, I'm into like Tarantino movies now.
So grown.
I'm an adult.
But that does play a factor into how last week, which, by the way, I had
fun.
Great time.
People looking like Hunter looks bored. I'm like, I had a nice time. I was learning.
I didn't feel like you had fun when we finished recording.
Here's what we should have done. The problem was we used the 3-head setup for the whole time. Obviously, editing budget, yes, we got a ways to go. But we can make that to where, it's more like this person's talking, they're on, this person's, versus like
someone staring at you the whole time, but then you never would have been on there, and people would have been like,
I popped up a few times. That's also the point of having a guest. We have the guests that experience the episode, or not the episode, experience Epic, and I wanted to hear from that perspective.
Well,
because I can sit here and talk about, oh yeah, I saw that, I think this, but I want to hear from someone who's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's okay for us also to speak when we have a guest on that.
Yeah, I guess if people are listening to this podcast, they do want to hear us talk.
Sure.
Maybe. Or maybe you don't.
No.
And if you don't, let us know in the comments.
And
Question of the week.
They definitely want to hear you talk because they say that. So.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to all my homies. That's actually all my burner accounts that I used to comment on our episodes.
No, I mean, I don't think anybody was particularly mean, but it is a sensitive subject for me because people used to say that. First of all, I'm a talker. I talk a lot. Yeah. Like, that's just me as a human being.
New.
Yeah, right. Anyways.
It doesn't hurt my feelings, though. It's fine.
I don't know. It's definitely been something that you have been like.
This is how
Here's
my life relationships work, though. My wife is a talker. I'm not a talker.
Right.
She's an extrovert. I'm very much like, I'm an extrovert once I really get to know you, but like, I'm cool listening.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I don't know that. I do think you get to a point where you're tired of talking, though, and that's okay.
Heck yeah.
I mean, you said that to me this week. Hunter and I also have.
We love alone time.
We've just been like navigating, starting a podcast together. We've been navigating like Hunter and I's friendship can clash sometimes because we are so different, and this is just being honest and transparent. We butt heads from time to time, and sometimes butting heads, we really just like get annoyed with each other. And one of the things that can drive Hunter crazy is in the amount of time that we spend together in person, which doesn't happen often. Hunter gets drained by the amount of talking that Nick can do sometimes, and that has been communicated from you to me.
Pretty much just picture Buddy the Elf and Walter Hobbs. That's us.
Exactly.
We don't quite get to the get out of my life part, but you know,
I don't know about that.
All right, if I'm running on hour 12, I'm just like, all right,
yeah,
let me go to bed.
It's just something that we navigate together, and it's something that we navigate in our friendship, but then in starting a podcast together, it's something even more new that we're figuring out. But our friendship is very important, and yeah, I mean, I think like we're good, everything's good, but yeah, there have definitely been times where you get tired of me talking. All of that to say, it can be
episodes, yeah. Just
well, that's the other thing that I have sometimes too is that like, it's a podcast. We're here to talk. Like, there is nothing, and there's a lot of people that listen to this podcast that don't watch the videos. So, you know, they're here to listen to us speak. If I had not jumped in and spoken more last week because you were kind of just like letting things go.
Oh, I needed you there, buddy. I needed you there. I'll be real.
And so, and people used to say this to me too on videos that I would do with Tim in podcast episodes that we would do on That Tracks. They'd be like, Nick, let Tim talk. But the reality is, and Tim would say this himself, Tim is very, very introverted. Tim talks a lot on videos and speaks a lot on videos because that's his job and that's what he does. But when you meet Tim in person, he is more reserved and he's not as much of a talker. I left Hunter and Tim together on a cruise ship.
I mean, firsthand, I experienced what it would be like if maybe me and Tim had a podcast. We'd sit next to each other and I'd be like, so you like 80s music? And he'd be like, yep, that's why I'm at 80s trivia. And I'd be like, cool, dude. And then I waited for 20 minutes for Nick to come back.
Yeah, and I came back and I was like, why are you guys not sitting next to
Why are y'all not best friends? Like, well, he went to go hang out with his
I'm confused by this. So that is one of my strengths, is my ability to engage with people, to speak to people, and I like to make sure that people feel welcome. And I was sensing it the entire episode last week, which is why I kept being like, Hunter, what do you think about this?
I love that. Thank you.
But
toss it to me. Toss me those softballs.
So I don't know. It was fine, and we had fun, and Adriana had a great time.
Yeah, that was my first time meeting Adriana, by the way. Like you have obviously, well, we've met in passing at, I think it was Jollywood, maybe.
I don't remember.
Kind of what we talked about, but it was. I tend to meet people as I'm hanging out with Nick, and he obviously knows everybody and says hi to everybody, and I'm just thinking to myself, wow, if I was in his shoes, I would not be talking to this many people. But I'm just like, oh, okay. And, yeah, you obviously have like a friendship or relationship there that I didn't have, so that's why I was like, okay, you run with it. You know?
Yeah, but we just
Y'all have
approach
the
that
banter.
differently though. Like I would be like, I would insert myself into the conversation, which
I am very much like, this seems like it's going well.
but nothing was like ill intent. There was no like, it was nothing. It was very much like,
I took it ill intent.
whatever.
For those of you listening, I'm smiling right now.
That was
yeah.
sarcasm. But yeah, so anyways, thank you for addressing that because it was weighing on me. Honestly,
Don't come after Nick, you know? I'm here to defend you, buddy.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It does take its toll. After a while, I'm just kind of like,
But don't get me wrong. Yeah, if you do, you know, push me to the side, I will be vocal in the comments of our own videos.
no, I think that's one area though that's been cool for me to push you on is to come out of your shell more and more because your voice is important. It matters. This is exactly what I said to you in a text message afterwards. I was like, you are the other half of the theme park guys. Like you are so critical and important in terms of like saying your opinion on things.
Yeah.
And so
I'm the S. I mean, otherwise it'd be the theme park guy.
yeah, and I'm already the theme park dad, so I don't need to be the guy too.
Theme park dad and guy.
The guy. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I huge thank you to Adriana for coming on last week, and I thought it was a really cool opportunity to talk about Epic because it's the hot news right now, and it's going to be the hot news for a while. And I did see that someone commented like with a bunch of questions or like
Oh yes.
sort of like concerns about Epic, and yes, I don't want it to seem like we're not going to go into that park and not notice things that we feel like could be better because it's a brand new park, and I'm sure that there will be.
That will be my job. Yeah. That is what I am good at. I have no problem. See, and everything that's come out is so catered, so nice, and I'm like,
Not everything.
let me put my feet in that park, and I will tell you.
There's been content that's been posted just from people that are not being hosted by Universal at this point. So it's like people are giving their honest, raw feedback, and it is overwhelmingly positive for sure, which is a good thing. It's okay if everybody's excited. It's okay for everybody to be
everything
happy.
Could always be a little bit
Sure,
better.
absolutely. And
I love finding those things.
Yeah. But it's okay for people to be super pumped on this brand new theme park. And I'm so excited to go. I will be, we're recording this on Wednesday. Tomorrow I'll be at Helios Grand for work, covering the hotel, which I'm very excited to see. And It's going to like kill me because I'm going to be literally staring at Epic Universe being like, tell the guard to open up the gate. But and then the rest of my team is going on Friday, and I'm going to have such intense FOMO. But I'll be there soon.
Hand on the glass on the window.
But yeah, so
well, speaking of things that could be better, teaser. This week we're talking about Six Flags Over Texas. I wore my Texas shirt. You know,
yeah,
hey,
love it.
Other
Which
states,
I
Texas.
have nothing to contribute, but will absolutely engage in the conversation.
This is where Nick sits in the corner because, hey, partner, we're going to talk about Six Flags Over Texas.
And just let you talk. Yeah.
And listen. This is the teaser. We'll talk about some new stuff first. And you know, I had a family trip. Me and Bash, my son, went to Six Flags for an afternoon. Did the family stuff. So this is my Six Flags Over Texas family conversation and Six Flags overall in general, because this is the first time I've gone back in 12 years, believe it or not. It's been a long time. I will be going back. I have an annual pass because of Knott's Berry Farm and that whole conglomerate of theme parks I can get in. So I will be going back to do, you know, all the roller coasters, the Titan, Texas Giant, Judge Roy Scream. I'll face my fear. Maybe I'll do a vlog of me taking on Judge Roy Scream again, the ride that made me hate roller coasters and not ride them for years after. But yeah, that will be.
Have you never been on it again? We can talk more.
No, I've been on it again. I've been on it again a few times.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, yeah, it's been a long time since I've done a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. But first, some news.
Yeah.
And I wanted to start this with a question. Oh wait, go ahead.
Well, I just wondered, like, personally, we haven't given any updates in a while. How are you? What's new?
I'm good.
Okay. See? This is what I'm talking about, people.
Fantastic.
How are you? What's new? I'm good.
I'm good.
All right, well,
Enough about me.
I'll jump into my news.
Now, Nick, you can start talking, and then people will be like, why aren't you talking, Hunter? I'm good.
No, it would not be, why aren't you talking, Hunter? It would be, Nick, why didn't you let Hunter talk?
That's right. You know, it's tough sometimes, just getting shoved to the side. Living in the shadow, as I like to call it.
Never being cared for.
Everybody remember here.
To.
Yeah, Nick may, be this big guy and have all these people and be on the Instagram and all that kind of stuff, but I started podcasting before Nick Foster. Let me tell you, I am the veteran. I know he's a little bit older than me, but when it comes to podcasting experience, I'm the guy. Yeah. Nick was a fan of me. And that's what got him into being on podcasts, which then spurred that tracks with it, which then spurs this podcast. I would like to personally take credit for all of this. Big full circle moment, right?
Congratulations.
Yeah. So you've got me everywhere else, but
so that's how you're
I've
doing.
logged on to some episodes of Talk. Yeah, that's how I'm doing. I just want to get that out there.
Great.
Feeling prideful.
Yeah.
I played in a pickleball tournament today.
Oh, that's exciting for work.
Yeah. It was an industry organization tournament. Lost in the semifinal game.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, left immediately. They said, "Do y'all want to play for third place?" And I said, "No, we concede. We're out of here." I also had to get my child to bed, so it was running late. It was supposed to end at 6, and it ended at 7. And then Maddie was waiting on me, and I was like, "Okay." And we not luckily, we wanted to win. We could have won. But, we lost. It's just the way it goes.
Life happens, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that, though. That's disappointing.
Yep.
Well, how many teams were there?
30.
Oh, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Good job.
We were pretty good. But
I've never played pickleball.
We got snubbed.
I've never played pickleball, but I did play tennis in high school, so I feel like I could access those skills.
You could pick up pickleball.
It
gets pretty intense.
On the team in high school, and then I played in league as well. I did both.
Well. Very nice. I did not play tennis in high school. I did tennis lessons when I was a kid, though. Yeah.
I enjoy it. It's a fun game.
Back in the homeschool days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have I said that on here? I have.
I don't know.
I just outed myself. Comment below if you were homeschooled. Question of the week.
No. But you were.
We end up okay.
I think
sometimes.
We're
just a little introverted. We don't like talking about our feelings. And, if new people are around, we kind of keep to ourselves. But we do a great job.
That is not true because I also was homeschooled through middle school. So.
Oh, you were homeschooled longer than me.
No, I was homeschooled for 4 years.
No, yeah.
4 years.
Oh, so you went to elementary school?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't do that. My brother did that, and yeah.
What?
I mean, he ended up a little different. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I went to school through 4th grade, and then 5th through 8th I was homeschooled, and then started high school.
5th through 8th. Those are major developmental years right there.
Yeah.
What was that like? Want to talk about it?
I don't appreciate you patronizing me here.
I'm not. I'm trying to be empathetic.
There was a lot of sarcasm in that comment.
What was it like?
I mean, it was fine. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get your schoolwork done by 9 a.m. and then have the rest of the day free?
Yeah, it was pretty quick. But I'm such a social person that I definitely missed the social aspects of it. But we were always around kids. Like, my dad was a kids pastor, so we were always at the church. It was a very normal, regular thing for us during that season to always be around other kids. So it's not like I don't feel like I was neglected in terms of being socialized.
Yeah, I liked alone time. I played my GameCube and computer games.
You still do.
Built Legos.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing great.
How does that segue? Oh yeah, how are you doing? I opened up. I played pickleball. I was homeschooled. I mean, we went through a whole.
I'm glad we got there. Yeah, no, that's great. That's the kind of stuff that I love. I love getting to. I mean, I knew those things about you, but I love other people getting to know that about you. Yeah. So
when we post this, you're gonna have new floors being installed, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
In current process.
Yeah, we've got a lot going on at the house. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably been seeing that I've been doing all kinds of home projects. The boys have moved in together. Zoe's room is getting closer and closer to being ready. There's still a lot more to do. We have a baby shower this weekend, so we'll be bringing home lots of gifts that we'll have to find places for and all that kind of stuff.
You didn't send me an invite.
Yeah. This one's more of a family one. We do have a friend one.
I feel like
is coming up, but
family.
I don't think that you are going to.
Thought I qualified for
travel
family.
to Florida for.
You have a registry,
shower.
buddy. I mean, come on.
You could text me and be like, "Hey, send me your registry."
I didn't know you were having a baby shower until this very moment, but.
Well, I mean, it's like a thing that people have, regardless of whether they have baby showers. Or
well, I understand you were having a baby shower. I just didn't understand that it was.
No. I mean, like registries. Yeah. I'm not gonna just text you and be like, "Yo, here's my registry."
Yeah.
No, that's not me.
Get a random text. Yo.
Hey, just registry. In case you were looking for this, here's my baby registry.
Hit it up.
No, that's not what I do for sure.
Just saying.
Yeah. I feel like it's more normal for people to be like, "Hey,
why don't you just post it in the comments? Check the comments below for Nick's baby registry."
Definitely not.
They're not there if you went to look. Gotcha.
No, people have DM'd me and asked me for our registry, but I don't know. It's just that doesn't feel. It feels awkward. Like I don't expect anybody that follows me to get me anything.
You don't want people to know what kind of baby monitor cameras you have on your registry. You don't want to get hacked. That's a serious thing.
But like our baby registry right now does have our personal address on it, so I'm obviously not going to share that one with people that I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
But let's talk about that. So baby monitor cameras. Did you decide on? Have you chosen?
Francie did. I didn't.
That's a big deal. And did you get the one that's off network? We use the one that's off network.
Probably so. Yeah.
So like it's
so it'll work regardless of whether. Yeah.
Well, no, it's off network, so the hackers they can't get in.
Oh dear.
Is that paranoid?
I don't probably a little bit, but I mean it makes sense. It's okay to be paranoid about your kids. So
yeah, don't get the ones that work through Wi-Fi. Mm-mm.
I mean, I just feel like that's not reliable in general, anyways. Because like, what if the Wi-Fi goes out?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. If a hacker gets into your Wi-Fi and turns it off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Francie picked that one. Also, I mean, we'll need it if we're like downstairs and stuff. But Zoe's room is directly across from ours, which is nice as well. So
yeah.
And she'll be sleeping in a bassinet in our room for a while anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'll offer you some words of wisdom, because I'm a dad.
Right. Never had kids.
I know you've been a dad, but
me.
your memory might be a little foggy. You're getting old, so.
We are getting old. Actually, we both have birthdays coming up pretty soon.
We do. Yeah.
Actually, is this episode?
Yours is coming up sometime in the first week of May ish.
Do you remember my
second
birthday?
Week of May. Yeah, of course I do.
What is it?
So what is our May
What
the
is
9th?
it? Did you just look it up?
No, I'm not looking it up. Maybe I did. No. Were you saying, is this the last episode that gets posted before my birthday? So we can sing happy birthday to me?
It's not. It's
not.
next
I have
week.
one more.
Yeah, next week.
Hunter's birthday episode coming up.
Actually, the 2 days that I'll be in Epic are April 30th and May 9th.
I know you told me I should come down, but it's a little short notice.
Well,
I have a full-time job. It's just it's something I live with.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I do too.
It's required. Well, yours is you get to go to the parks, but and you also live close, which I live close to Six Flags. Teaser to later on the episode.
But yeah, anyways, lots going on in the foster house with regards to getting ready for Zoe. We're at 30 weeks. Francie will go a week early. It'll be scheduled. So we really only have 9 weeks left. And then I will be out of town from basically May 19th through June 1st. I'll be home some of the time in between there, but I've got a lot of work events. I'll be at the grand opening of Epic. I'll be
that's a lot of days, buddy.
It's like 2
May
weeks.
19th. Yeah.
2 weeks I'll be gone pretty much. We've got new shows opening at Hollywood Studios, which we'll get into in a second, and then I go to Disneyland at the end of May for work. So there is a lot going on for sure. But
wow.
So realistically in my brain, because we have 9 weeks left, and then I'm subtracting 2 weeks from those because it's like I can't get anything done around the house during those 2 weeks. I really only have 7 weeks left until we have a baby. So It's crazy. It's wild. It's also starting to really sink
way.
in that we are actually going to have a baby. Like, for the longest time, it's not been like the most real. But we had an ultrasound yesterday. You know, she's doing great. She's 3.5 pounds, kicking, like, was breathing, all the things. Not breathing, obviously, actual oxygen, but she was practicing her breathing during the ultrasound. And so just seeing those things, it's just like becoming more and more real. Like, we are literally going to be doing this again. And it is true. It's wild because we haven't had a newborn since Luke, and that was almost 9 years ago. So, you know, Ethan is obviously with us, but Ethan was 3 when he joined the family. And so there were still a lot of things like that we had to teach him. Like, he was not potty trained. He was not speaking. So there was definitely, like, in terms of where he was developmentally, there was things that we really had to work on, and obviously still do to this day. But yeah, it's going to be interesting having a newborn around the house.
Yeah.
But
if you need any help, just, you know, hotlines available.
Yeah, right.
Been there, done that. I'm a pro.
The hotline's always available.
Honestly, just call Maddie. I mean, she's the one that, yeah.
I appreciate it. I'm excited to see how it comes back to me, because it's obviously something we've lived through in terms of having a newborn, and it'll be interesting to see, like, you know, what that's like. But it's also going to be interesting having a little girl. Like, I know how to handle boys. I not had a girl. So, but I'm excited. Can't wait for that.
There's nothing like having child number 1, and then, like, baby's born, you go through all that. I didn't go through a whole lot, obviously, but baby's born, and then they're like, all right, you'll want to feed him every 2 hours. He'll be up every 2 hours. And I'm like, between the hours of 7 a.m. and 9 p.m., he'll be up every 2 hours? Like,
right.
It's like, no. He'll be up every 2 hours through the nights.
Yeah.
And he was bottle fed. So
yeah, that was Luke.
I was
Luke,
like, that was not expected.
Luke was bottle fed too. So I helped a lot through that for sure. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be different for sure. Our life is so different now than it was when Luke was born. It was just the two of us and Luke, and we had family close by, which we do have family close by again, which is nice. But yeah, it's a totally different ballgame. We also, like, we didn't have 2 other children. So, and the boys are obviously older, so they're pretty independent. Like, they can do a lot of things by themselves and for themselves, which is huge and a game changer.
Throw them in a room, throw a ball in there, and just be like, all right, see you in 3 hours.
No, they do. They play by themselves all the time. Like, and with each other. They don't need me to, like, entertain them. But
Bash has started to do that too.
Yeah.
4. He'll build Legos by himself. He'll do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Which you kind of feel bad. You're like, hey, buddy, you want to play? He's like, I'm good. I'm just playing. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a harsh reality when your kids are like, please leave me alone.
He has said that he needs space. That's a new thing he's working on. I need space, Daddy. I need space. And I'm like, okay, I kind of respect that, but you just told your dad you need space and put your hand up, so we're going to have a talk about that.
That's fine. I mean, he's allowed to tell you he needs space.
We're going to talk about asking nicely versus, like, talk to the hand.
Right.
No, Daddy, I need space. I'm like, I am telling you need to clean up your toys. I don't care if you need space. You need to do that, and then you can have space. But,
oh, wow. You're teaching your child how to nicely ask for space. That's really good.
Well, Maddie is. Obviously, I'm at work most of the days. But
No. I'm saying that, like, that is.
But we have those experiences. I took Bash to Six Flags and other things. So, like, we're like, and Silver Dollar City coming up, Branson. Me and Bash are going to go to that because we're then going to be going to Colorado. And Maddie was like, do I go to Branson and then Colorado and do that? So I'm going to be taking Bash there.
Yeah, I'm excited
so
for that.
That'll be
fun.
Father-son trip. We'll hit Silver Dollar City. I'll probably go a couple days. Play some golf. I'm excited. Love golf.
That'll be fun.
Have I said that? I love golf.
I think so, but you can reiterate it. Did you watch the Masters this past weekend?
Of course I watched the Masters. I wanted Bryson DeChambeau to win.
Ask me how much I watched of the Masters.
It was a cultural event that you should, and then you need to watch Netflix, the Netflix series next year, and it'll have an episode about the Masters with all, like, the backstories and everything. I feel like that's what you would watch. You'd be like,
maybe.
Oh, now I feel bad for Rory, filed for divorce, brought back together. His family's all together. Great story for him, career career Grand Slam.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the video clips of him like super emotional after he won, which was it pulled on my heartstrings. I didn't watch any of it. But
yeah, we have opinions about Roy. If you like Bryson, we have opinions back and forth. But it's the sport.
No takes, no strong takes. Golf is the sport that is one of the most uninteresting sports to me.
It is interesting. It's fun.
Which is against my namesake, because my name is actually Nicholas and it's spelled like a famous golfer, and so it's
a famous golfer. Yeah, you always say a famous golfer. It's Jack Nicklaus,
right? But a lot of people might not know who that is.
No, you just say Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah,
that's his name.
Yeah.
And just to preface, Bryson DeChambeau, a lot of people don't like him. I don't know if anyone listening is a strong golf fan, but he lives in Grapevine, Texas, right here. He's hometown guy, SMU. We root for him here. He's our boy. So.
Well, I'm sorry he didn't win.
Yeah, he kind of.
But it looked like it was an emotional.
Didn't do so hot on the last day, so.
It looked like it was an emotional win for Rory, right? That's his name.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if he loses, he's I'm just gonna bite my tongue. Like when he lost to Bryson, he had all different attitudes in the last major. They were going head to head.
So he's pretty emotional. Naturally.
Yeah,
like,
but
all the time.
if he, I don't know. Yeah.
He didn't maybe demonstrate good sportsmanship at times. I don't think that
he's
people listening to this are going to have
strong
opinions on this, but maybe they will.
I don't know. They might. I mean, so listen, like the whole Bryson story, I could go on for a long time. This is not what we're talking about. But like he kind of went heel. Going heel. You wrestling fan? Like you show like your bad self. You going heel.
Okay. No,
you were the good guy, and then now you're considered the bad guy from public opinion.
Why
so
is that
Bryson,
going heel?
It's just I don't know. You turn your heel to someone. I have no idea.
Got it. Okay.
But Bryson kind of went heel and joined the Live Tour and all that, and left and had things to say about the PGA. And it was literally like Bryson was Live Golf and Rory was the PGA Tour.
And
they were like the representatives of each, and they do not get along. They did not get along. They've since merged, tried to merge, but still haven't merged. There's a whole story about it. Watch what is that called? Something Swing on Netflix. It has episodes that highlight that.
I watched the first episode, then I wasn't interested anymore.
Anyways, we're off topic. Let's reel it back in here. We need to talk theme parks, or else people will stop listening.
Wow, that's
but quick news, and a good question for us, because we asked this question: is it a theme park? Is it not a theme park? Is a Disney cruise ship a theme park?
I don't know. That's a good segue into news, but also.
I cut it off too early.
I just wanted to also say...
I'm going to have to re-segue.
In advance, I wanted to say Happy Easter to everybody, because Easter is going to be...
It was yesterday.
Coming up this weekend. Yeah. So Happy Easter. Hopefully you guys have fun. Hopefully you have some fun egg hunts with the kids for those who celebrate. I know Passover was last weekend, so happy Passover to everybody who celebrated that. And if it's a religious holiday for you this weekend, I hope that you enjoy that as well. I know that... honestly, we obviously, our faith is important to us. I don't know whether or not we're going to church on Easter Sunday, so TBD. We're going to be up at my parents' or Francie's parents' house, and there's just going to be a lot going on, and we have to drive home that day. So our Easter Sunday is going to be weird. I have traditions on Easter that I like to uphold. I've talked about them on that track last year. I like to watch Cecil B. DeMille's The Ten Commandments. It used to show on ABC every year. Francie hates it, but I like to watch it anyways. Maybe that'll happen. We'll see. Will we have an egg hunt? I don't know. The Easter Bunny will come, and the Easter Bunny is prepped and ready. He's done his work, let me tell you. But
like you got, the
bunny
the Easter Bunny will come and leave.
Correct, and leave.
Okay.
The Easter
prior
Bunny leaves,
to anyone seeing him.
The bunny leaves baskets for Easter morning.
Okay, but the bunny's not going to come and do a meet and greet.
No.
Okay, we did that. Oh. We've done that before.
Like at the mall?
No, at the house, at the grandparents' house.
Oh, that's intense, terrifying.
Yeah, the Easter Bunny. It was so weird. The Easter Bunny was at our neighbor's house, and then he came out of our neighbor's house to our house, and then went back to our neighbor's house. I guess he might live there.
He's just chilling in Texas, I guess.
It's just weird. The Easter Bunny's my neighbor, my grandparents' neighbor.
That's great. Yeah, but no. So Easter Bunny's prepped, and word on the street is that he's been adhering to the children's passion of Pokemon this year when it comes to that.
That's a big thing now. Did you get like one of the old decks that costs like $300?
Well, no.
Like the originals?
It's not my budget for. That's not the Easter.
That's not Easter budget. Okay, my bad.
No.
I didn't know there were gifts on Easter. I thought the eggs just had like a piece of candy.
You never got gifts on Easter Sunday. Probably.
We got a basket.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then there you go. Yeah,
it's kind of.
I got a Furby one year for Easter. I'll never forget it.
Wow.
I loved and also hated that thing. It just would never shut up. Did you ever have a Furby? That was you were too young?
Yeah, no, I think my sister had one.
Yeah.
And I might have destroyed it or something with my Legos and stuff. I don't know.
Destroyed it with your Legos.
Yeah, like build a Lego. I don't know.
Interesting.
No, I didn't play with Furbies.
Okay. Well, I had one for Easter one year. Anyways, happy Easter, everybody. Hope you have a good weekend. I hope that you get to have some Easter candy. Easter candy is
what is Easter candy?
Well, first of all,
chocolates.
Reese's. Yeah, there's chocolates. There's chocolate eggs.
Chocolate bunnies.
Chocolate bunnies.
That reminds me of the VeggieTales. The bunny. The bunny.
Yeah,
oh, I love the bunny.
That's good stuff.
We're going to watch that on Easter.
Cadbury eggs.
Are those the ones with the toys?
They're like malt chocolates. No.
Okay. Those are Kinder eggs.
Yeah,
Be careful. Be careful with Kinder eggs.
There are Reese's eggs. I think I just said that. Yeah, there's some good candy.
Shout out to my grandparents live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Shout out to everybody up there. They send a basket of Saris candies, chocolates down on Easter.
Is that a Pittsburgh thing?
Oh, yeah. It's delicious. It's like, I don't know. You got Hershey, PA. It's not Hershey. It's its own Saris candies, and it is great.
I almost bought you something the other day, but then Hunter has asked me not to buy him any more gifts, which is taking away my.
That's one thing we talked about. Yeah.
Taking away my ability to show my love for people, but
you're limited to birthdays and Christmas, but you have gone ahead a few years already. So I'm subtracting that off, and we'll talk. 2027.
There's no limitations, but I ended up not buying it, but I did see. Hunter's a big fan of Tony's chocolate, and I saw Easter Tony's candies.
See,
I think you only like.
But
one...
I'm off Tony's now. Oh. See, the thing is, I don't know. I go hard into like, I am all Tony's.
Are you
and
still on your?
I get 5 Tony's chocolate bars, and I work through them, and I'm like,
probably all me.
Yeah,
are you still?
You are responsible for making me not like Tony's. I am.
Wow.
Are
you still on your chocolate pretzels from
Trader Joe's milk chocolate covered pretzels?
Yeah, you're still on that.
I'm sitting here looking at the bag, and I'm gonna crack into that after we're done recording this episode. It's sitting on the kitchen counter. Trader Joe's milk chocolate covered pretzels, delicious. Not as good as the Saris Candies milk chocolate covered pretzels, which I'm fingers crossed gonna see those at my parents' house because my grandma sent them down. We'll see.
Because of Easter. Nice.
Because of Easter.
Well,
I'm excited for that,
I hope that is going to be good for you. So, we also make a dip on Easter. We'll end with this. We make a dip on Easter.
I mean, we're 40 minutes in. We haven't even talked about a theme park.
This is good, though.
We talked a little Epic. And we did the teaser to the episode content, which will be forthcoming probably at minute 55 if you want to skip ahead.
Anyways, we do make a dip every year, and it's you melt a bunch of chocolate in a cast iron skillet, but you put Peeps on top of it, which Peeps by themselves not my favorite thing.
No,
but if you put Peeps on top of a bunch of different types of chocolate chips, and then you melt it, and then you dip graham crackers in it, it's basically s'mores.
I just never been a Peeps guy.
I don't love Peeps by themselves, but I do love them melted with chocolate and graham crackers because it's like a s'more.
The cleaning that pan has to be awful.
It's terrible.
That sounds like it's like go to Walmart and buy a $5 pan and then throw it in the bin after.
No.
Sound very British.
You just have to grease it and then it's okay. But anyways, okay. News. We'll cycle through the news pretty quickly. There's a lot that we could talk about because we haven't done this in a while. But what we'll do is we'll just
We'll talk about what's relevant because we did a bunch of epic stuff, you know.
Yeah. Rapid fire. Walt Disney World, Typhoon Lagoon, and Blizzard Beach will both be open this summer from May 21st through September 7th. This is a little bit of old news, but it is important because it's the first time since the pandemic that all 6 parks at Walt Disney World will have been open at the same time, which is pretty wild, seeing that was 5 years ago.
Wow.
So that's exciting. Blizzard Beach is open right now for the month of April. It will shut down in May, at the beginning of May, for a couple of weeks. They always do this. They do a lot of renovations and refurbs on certain things, but then it traditionally has stayed closed through the summer, leaving Typhoon Lagoon open, traditionally being since the pandemic. But so the first time since 2019 that it will reopen in May, and both parks will be open, which is great because a lot of people who are staying at Walt Disney World get the new benefit of on your check-in day, you can go to a water park for free. And so a lot of people will be able to utilize that with both water parks being open. So I was at Blizzard Beach a few weeks ago for the 30th anniversary, which is pretty wild to think about that park being open for 30 years. And eventually I do want to talk more about this. We were going to try to record an episode that week and it just didn't work out. But I want to talk more about water parks as theme parks. And I did get to go the other night to Volcano Bay for an event. I was there for work. They have a thing called Volcano Bay Nights. And so I got to spend some time at Volcano Bay as well. I personally did not do any of the I don't love water slides, first of all. And I didn't do any of them.
For any particular reason?
I just feel like they hurt your back. I'll do water slides if you're in a tube.
Not the tubes?
Tubes, I'm fine.
It's the worst, getting like your back, it feels like it's getting split.
Yeah, just not pleasant to me. If I'm in a tube, game on. Like, I'm down for that. But yeah, so anyways, got to experience Volcano Bay, and that was pretty great. Volcano Bay is awesome, but Universal calls that a water theme park. So more to talk about.
We'd have to do a direct comparison.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that on a future episode. But yeah, so that's exciting this summer, both parks being open. Also, Disney debuted official posters for the new Disney Villains Unfairly Ever After show, which debuts at Hollywood Studios on May 27th. Those posters have characters like Cruella, Hook, Maleficent. So that's exciting. That's going to be fun to see what that show is all about. And this is kind of a precursor to villains representation at the parks. So more on that later, but I'll definitely be out there for work experiencing it, and then I can come back and talk about what it's like. So there's also like really good deals going on. As a side note, there's really good deals going on this summer.
What's this ticket package price thing happening?
There's like
is that what you're referencing?
Well, there's discounts going on for children's tickets. They're 50% off right now through Walt Disney World. And shameless plug, but you can save even more if you purchase through Undercover Tourist. But
hashtag not sponsored.
No. Hashtag just my employer. Please sponsor my life.
Hashtag employed. Hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah. So there's great deals with that. But also Disney Plus subscribers, you can book hotel rooms between June 29th to July 31st. So basically for the month of July. And it is $99 per night on select nights for standard rooms at All Star Sports. $169 for Woods View rooms at Port Orleans Riverside, which $169 a night at Riverside is a pretty great deal.
Hold on, we trying to boost Disney Plus subscriptions right now? Is that what I'm smelling?
And not just Disney Plus, but I think Walt Disney World is like, hey, come visit in the month of July. We need you here, is what I'm sensing. $229 for a Cars Family Suite at Art of Animation. Those suites are amazing. Bash would go. Like
those are good. Yeah,
he would love that for $229.
Is it the same as the Lion King rooms? Like same size? Yeah, just different.
Same
themes.
setup. Yeah,
that'd be perfect.
And $229 per night. That's amazing. Those sleep 6 people, I think.
We fit 6 in there. Yeah. It's crowded, but it works.
$249 for Deluxe Studios at Saratoga Springs. $249 a night is also pretty great for that. And then $339 for a Savannah View room at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge. $339 a night. That's amazing. So,
what's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Disney's getting cheap.
Kind of scary. They're competing with with people booking
what
trips
happens.
to Orlando for this brand new theme park.
This is why Epic Universe is good.
Yeah,
because,
for sure. A lot of people have been saying like, "Oh, Disney's game over." No, Disney's never game over. Disney is an empire.
If anything, now it's going to get a little competitive.
Yeah, which is fine. Like, it's good competition. We want this as theme park fans. We want there to be like, "Oh, we see what you did there. Okay, great. Well, let's up the ante a little bit." So.
If you got one kid on the street corner selling lemonade, he's going to sell it for $3 until the other kid comes up and sells it for $1. And now all of a sudden you've got lemonade for $1.50.
And his is fresh squeezed. So
they're both fresh squeezed. We didn't go through the taste test. We're going to assume the products are equivalent. Are you saying Epic Universe is fresh squeezed versus Disney?
I don't know. I haven't been yet. TBD.
I think you just said that. That was shade, actually.
A lot of people that I respect and know have said that this is one of the best parks that they've ever been to. So
yeah,
I'm excited. Can't wait to go. Walt Disney World also shared a new look. This has been a hot topic. It shared a new look at the upcoming Grand Floridian lobby refurbishment. It's going to include a new lobby bar. Did you see this picture by chance?
No.
Okay, I'll send it to you. It's a new lobby bar, which is it's being built out of the bird cage, the iconic bird cage that's been in the lobby. Mm-hmm. A lot of people have hot takes on this. It also has new carpet and refreshes to the staircase and front desk. A lot of people were concerned when the announcements were made that there was going to be refurbishment to this lobby. I think that it's still quintessential Grand Floridian. Like, it's held on to that Victorian look, and so I'm excited about that. A lot of people are a little worried about there being a bar right in the middle of the lobby because of how crowded it could make the lobby area. And it's also interesting because they fit a lot in that lobby, especially during the holidays with the massive tree and the gingerbread house, which this year, because of these renovations, there will not be a gingerbread house, which is so sad.
Gasp.
But
there's gingerbread houses in the other ones. So
but the gingerbread house at Grand
You
Floridian,
can walk inside of it. Yes.
It's iconic.
Amazing. Yes.
Yeah. So
One
that's
day we'll have it back.
There. Yeah. Hopefully
a bar is interesting. I just looked at that picture you sent, and I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know either. I just don't know that it's total. There's other.
Because is it the Rose, the Enchanted Rose, right upstairs?
Upstairs.
Is that a lounge? The walk up?
Yeah.
If you want, just walk upstairs and get a drink, and then it's separate from the lobby where all the kids are. Like, are they going to have the bar, and then right across they're going to have the TV that they have in every lobby with the kids watching cartoons? You're just like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it feels weird.
Because there have been, in many occasions, a family that rolls in somehow. Maybe it's an international flight or something, but they get in at 2 a.m. and they are sitting in the lobby, or midnight and sitting in the lobby, and their kids just got there. They just flied. Now you got Joe Schmo at the bar.
Which the bars never really close that late at Disney. They'll close at like midnight. Yeah. But
it could be like 11 p.m. I was saying 2 a.m. But
no, it'll be interesting. I don't know what that's going to be like.
New monorail crawl spot, though.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. Also, this is a side note. It has nothing to do with parks here in the States, but Disney shared some concept art for the new Lion King attraction that's coming to Disneyland Paris. When they first released concept art for this, it looked like the live action version of the Lion King. In the new concept art, it is definitely the animated characters, which I'm very thankful for. I would much rather it be the animated version than anything else.
Yeah.
So, anyways, all of that to say, now let's talk about your Destiny.
Oh, the Destiny.
Yeah, so the Destiny is coming at the end of this year, and there was a big media event, so a lot of information and news was released about the Destiny. I'm excited. It looks great. Different art pieces that is in the staterooms. You've got Mulan, you've got Merida, you've got The Incredibles, and you've got Hercules. In the concierge rooms, you've got Sorcerer Mickey. Hunter's losing lighting.
There we go. We're back.
Other information about the Disney Destiny. We already knew that the lounge was going to be themed to Doctor Strange, but it's the Sanctum Lounge, and this is the lounge that, if you've been on the Wish or if you've been on the Treasure, it is the bar that is, or lounge that is located where on the Wish it's Princess Tiana themed, and then on the Treasure it is Jungle Cruise themed. So it's a very open lounge. Like it's a lot of people walk by it constantly because they're headed to shows or to different areas. But it looks pretty cool. A lot of Marvel influence for sure. They had a concept art photo. Black Panther is going to be in the lobby, like that's the statue. But they had a photo of Loki being at the top overlooking the like grand hall. And so definitely the theme of the ship is heroes and villains. Minnie Mouse debuted her new outfit. She looks like a superhero. She's got a cape, which is interesting because Edna Mode would not be
no cape. No capes.
A lot of information came out about the new Hercules stage show that will be on the Disney Destiny. It looks amazing. I've heard some of the clips of the people singing. I'm hoping to be able to go on this ship with work, so I've kind of been trying to avoid some spoilers, but it looks awesome. It looks amazing. So,
yeah.
And then the dinner show that is where Coco would be or Frozen would be on the Wish, Coco on the Treasure, is the Pride Lands Feast of the Lion King. And so it's a Lion King show. It's kind of like if you've never been on the ships, the stage is in the center, and then you eat around the stage, and so it sounds pretty cool. The menu looks good. It's giving Animal Kingdom Lodge menu vibes. You know, whether you're at some of the different restaurants that are there, it's definitely like African inspired dishes. Looks super tasty. A lot of people had really good things to say about it, and they're going to have a hyena sipper on the ship, which, you know, for the Lion King stands, it's a big
Get
deal.
them while they're hot.
So yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to hopefully experience this ship. And that's all that I really have. There's other pieces of news for sure. We've got Passholder days coming to Walt Disney World this summer from May 14th to July 31st. We don't know specifically what that has to do with just yet, but there will probably be discounts, a new magnet, and probably a Passholder lounge. And then also dragons were spotted today flying over Isle of Burke, and I'm going to lose my mind. So
We got dragons.
that's part of the movie. We have dragons.
They say we have dragons?
That's what it says, yeah. That's what they say.
I should have written the movie.
You need to watch. I want you to watch those movies. Watch it with Bash. I think Bash would enjoy them.
My USB port is acting up. Oh. There we go. Back. The ring light is being a little touchy. Yes, Bash would probably like it. I don't know if he's quite there yet.
It's not. I think he'd be okay.
I don't know. I'll have to proof it.
Yeah, watch it first and then see if you think it'd be okay for him. But
all right. Well, on that note.
All right, Six Flags. You've got 10 minutes. I'm just kidding.
Other states, Texas. Oh, all right, Six Flags over Texas.
That is one of the most Texas shirts I've ever seen.
I've got two like this.
Oh, dear.
Everybody in Texas has got one of these.
I'm going to keep my comments to myself because they just get me in trouble.
You can have one. Other states, Florida, just won't be as cool.
Nah, fam. I don't want that.
Why not?
There's many things that I'm not proud of with my state, so please no.
No. Well, Texas. Six Flags over Texas. The first of the Six Flags Entertainment Corporation, which is now the largest theme park company in the world. Bigger than Universal, bigger than Walt Disney World, because they have 50-something theme parks all over, now part of their umbrella with the merger with Cedar Fair. Yes, Cedar Fair. So that happened. So I decided, having the theme park guys, I needed to take a trip back. I've done Peppa Pig. We love Peppa Pig. It's my home park, closest. Next closest, actually within probably 15 minutes, is Six Flags over Texas. Right down the highway. I used to go growing up a lot. Haven't been in the last 12 years, as I mentioned. I think literally coming out of high school, senior year, maybe senior year summer was the last time I went that I could recall or find. I still don't think I could find any photos of that time. But anyways, I went. I took Bash, my 4-year-old. We went with more of like, I just want to see what the vibes are there right now, and do some of the family stuff. And I'll just start off by saying this. I'm worried about Six Flags over Texas. I'm worried. I am very, very, very worried. I don't know. I don't know if it's yearning for the nostalgia that I once remembered of Six Flags Over Texas being in its prime, before the bankruptcies, before the mergers, before, they've had a lot of stuff happening in the last 15 years that, I think, they went bankrupt in like the 2000s. So I was going like from 2000 to 2010, like that was my butter zone right there, right? So then they went bankrupt, stuff started not getting taken care of, and you can just you can see that there's some old there, and there's definitely some areas where it's like, okay, we need some work. And with the whole merger and Six Flags Entertainment, like it's just going to be interesting to see where it goes. The Six Flags Entertainment has said that they're going to be closing some smaller parks. I don't think they would ever think to close Six Flags Over Texas because it's in such a prominent spot in Arlington between the Globe Life Field and Cowboy Stadium, and in that little entertainment district. But yeah, just it started from the get-go. Honestly, we pulled up to the toll plaza, same as you would see in any of these theme parks, right? We showed up 30 minutes after the park opened, and we were one of the first, I think, 50 people there. It wasn't busy. It was a Saturday.
50
not a lot of
people at the
there.
park?
There were definitely, I feel like there were under 50 cars in the parking lot.
Wow.
Yeah. And I feel like I was stressing because I was like, we got to go. We were rushing through breakfast. Like, we got to get there 30 minutes early. We got a rope drop. Just because I wanted to see what the vibes were. But it wasn't very crowded. There were no cars at the toll plaza when we pulled up, and they had the entire toll plaza fully staffed with all lanes open. And I was like, okay, either maybe it's just a slow day, or maybe we're overstaffing a little bit, which overall I made a note that it did feel like the park was overstaffed in general for how many people were there. I'm talking like attractions had maybe like three people more than what I think would be necessary. There are a lot of people kind of like standing around, and I don't know if like operationally, I have no idea what's going on, but it translates into the experience and some of like the quality and cleanliness throughout the park. I don't want this to be a roast piece. I feel dirty talking about
You're
it
okay
right now.
sharing your experience. It's fine.
But it made me a little sad.
Yeah.
So, we
think...
walked in.
Go ahead.
No, please.
I could ask this question at the end too, but do you think that you have been so conditioned by parks like Walt Disney World or Disneyland, or like you've visited so many parks that are not Six Flags since?
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe like
I've forgotten when I was a kid? Listen,
well, I think as kids we're like blind to a lot of.
I thought the world
well.
worked perfectly. Yeah. I thought everybody did their job great. I thought nobody got fired. I was like, yeah, that's perfect. Everything's good. And then you get older and you realize like, stuff's different.
Life happens. Yeah,
life happens. I don't know. Yeah, I've obviously I'm heavy into Walt Disney World and Disneyland. Not so much Universal, but I've gone to Universal. But I also grew up going to Six Flags, but I was a lot younger. So maybe I had those rose-colored glasses of, what it was and what it meant to me, and being smaller and just enjoying it. But again, a lot of the stuff that was there when I was going as a kid. Right. So like even like the kid attractions in Bugs Bunny's Boomtown, I spent 92% of my time when I was a kid going to Six Flags in Bugs Bunny's Boomtown, because I didn't like Texas Giant, the Titan, Judge Roy Scream, any of those.
But nothing's changed in those areas since you were a kid.
So Bugs Bunny, let's start with Bugs Bunny's Boomtown. All right. Well, first off, we went through the entrance. Not quite as I remember. They've demolished pretty much the entire facade, and it's construction fences that are chain fences with no vision blockers. So it's a construction site at the entrance, which felt a little off. I remember the pathway we used to go to get our annual pass renewed is just overgrown, and the building looks abandoned.
No, like pixie dust walls or anything like that.
No pixie dust walls, man. They let you see right through those chain link fences, and it's different. It's different. They were having a celebration. Oh no, it was Fiesta. What was the celebration? It was the first day of a new celebration. Think Food and Wine Festival or something like that. it was the first day of the festival when we were there. So I was like, okay. And they had, some stuff at the entrance for that. Let me see if I have a photo here. Let me pull up. Let's see. There it is. Viva La Fiesta. That's what it was called at Six Flags Over Texas, which they had some decorations up. They were cool. But like the decorations were on the stars around the center fountain in front of the carousel, but the stars had ponding water, and it looked like it was, I don't know. I my eye sees these things. I'm also in construction, so I'm like, that wasn't built right. But that's my curse. So, anyways, we get into the park. We go right. Bugs Bunny's Boomtown, where, again, I spent a majority of my time. The one attraction that was my favorite, that I was excited for Bash to do, was the Speedy Gonzales Trucking Across America. So, I don't know how much editing we'll do. Photo here. It either made it or it didn't. That's just what happens.
Probably there won't be a photo. Considering what I have coming up this weekend, I'm going to say you should just Google it.
Yeah, Google Speedy Gonzales Trucking Across America. So it's not a lot, okay? And this is an example of maybe those rose-colored glasses because it looked a lot smaller than I remembered. But it was the best thing ever. I don't think those trucks have been refurbished since I was 4 years old. Just looking at them, and the ride wasn't even working. So a lot of rides were closed. A lot of rides were not currently working. The second of the ones that I was like, we gotta do it, was the Wile E. Coyote Grand Canyon roller coaster. It's a smaller roller coaster. It's very similar to what was the one at Peppa Pig called? Daddy Pig's roller coaster. It's pretty much the exact same intensity and length and all that. It's a mini kids roller coaster.
Yeah.
First roller coaster. So I was excited for that. That one was also closed. We ended up doing the Marvin the Martian space rockets, which is a kids only version of Astro Orbiter. Again, these are like, we're getting a lot of the stuff that is good for Bash to do was carnival-esque rides, spinner attractions, stuff like that. I was also excited for the mine train and the mini mine train, both of which were also closed. Those are classic Six Flags Over Texas attractions that are amazing. Okay, mine train's amazing. Mini mine train, pretty basic. But you got to do it if you go, right? But there's just, I don't know. We were walking around, and I did the good thing of not trying to hype up any of these things, because I've learned in the past of like, we're gonna go do the roller coaster. I was walking towards that area, see that it's closed, and I gently steer us beyond, and we're like, all right, well, Bash is not gonna know that existed, and we're just gonna keep walking and act like everything's good. So we continued on. We did the Batwing, which is, again, they have the Batman area where they have the Batman suspended flying roller coaster, classic Mr. Freeze launch coaster, goes up, comes back down, reverse. They have a lot of coasters and high intensity rides.
The Batman, do you lay down?
No, it's seated, feet dangling.
Oh, okay.
The one where like the track's above you.
Yeah.
But again, Batman, classic, awesome, super fun.
It was open though.
It was open. It was running. I didn't ride it because I had Bash. Yeah. Another thing is, it becomes much more apparent with Disney, especially Universal. I don't know how much as much, but with Disney especially, of the lengths they go to keep their height requirements down. Because there were some roller coasters where I was like, oh yeah, we could probably go do that, and it doesn't look that intense. But then you look at the height requirement, and you're like, oh, 48 inches. It's like they could have done something to make it to where a smaller kid could go on it, but they obviously didn't prioritize that. Yeah. So that's something where it becomes very apparent. If you're going, like, if you're under 40 inches tall, you're not going to really do a whole lot. You're going to be doing spinner attractions. Yeah. So that was another thing.
Yeah, I feel like we noticed that a lot when we were at Knott's Berry Farm.
Knott's Berry Farm was another one. Yeah. Yeah,
where we were confused as to why the height requirements were so high on certain attractions.
Yeah. So we continued walking around. We ended up getting to what... we did pass the old Panda Express. Closed. now renamed something else. There was a Panda Express at Knott's Berry Farm, and I told Nick while we were there, I think it might have been in the vlog, I was like, I love Panda Express. There's one in Six Flags that I always used to go to. That was closed. I would have gotten a Panda Bowl if it would have been open. But Nick, I'm going to send you a photo here.
Okay.
And I'm also, before I send you the photo, I'm going to look up the precise name of this attraction because this is a great one to talk about. This was the old Yosemite Sam boat ride, which is pretty much the only dark ride within Six Flags Over Texas in terms of any theming. I thought it was still Yosemite Sam. To my surprise, I come around. It's in the France area because Six Flags Over Texas, France is one of the ruling countries that Texas was once part of, one of the flags. It's in the France area. It is the Pirates of Spelunker Cave. This ride is a trip, okay? This ride is... I thought it was going to be okay.
Like Pirates of the Caribbean vibes?
It is literally Pirates of the Caribbean mixed with a little bit of Figment, mixed with a little bit of Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And I'm being completely serious. There is a scene where they are singing Mining for Gems. It's very, very reminiscent. It is very much Pirates of the Caribbean, where you start with dead pirates who then turn into alive pirates, and it's very, very, very copycat, which I was very shocked of. And it had these little people in it, if you can call them that. They're not even people; they're like aliens. So from what I made out from the story, there were mermaids that were mannequins.
Wow,
they were definitely mannequins, and they were a little worn out. I'm going to send you this video too. The media should be coming through. But if you don't know or you're not familiar, just take a second, look up Pirates of Spelunker Cave at Six Flags Over Texas, and you will be taken on a fever dream of an attraction that you may not ever be able to forget.
Yeah, that's interesting. They look like seahorses.
They look like seahorse people. And what I think happened was you're a pirate. No, you're setting off, and you steal a pirate ship, and in the process, you either yeah, I know. I tried. You should have seen it. I was trying to get so close on them. I was like, I am getting something. But you either die, or you go down a waterfall or something. And you end up in the depths of this mystical, scary world of whatever these things are. And the whole time, the pirates want to steal all the gemstones, and you're in there, and then these little things start fighting the pirates, and apparently you're on their team. I didn't understand it, honestly.
This is a lot happening for a dark ride attraction. And
at one point, there was a clown that was a jack-in-the-box that jump scares you. I don't know where it fit. And it scared me, and I felt really bad for Bash because he was doing the thing where he was really quiet, hands together, and just kind of like, and I'm like, are you doing good? And he's like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. And I'm like, this is traumatizing the boy. I didn't know, and this is my fault for not. I looked at it and I was like, this is Yosemite Sam. It was Yosemite Sam chasing Bugs Bunny, and it was so fun. And it's Pirates of Spelunker Cave. How bad could it be?
Apparently, it is something.
It is something, man. I don't know this.
Well, you're not really selling this park for me to want.
No,
to
I'm not. I'm not trying to, but we do need to do it. I want to take you on Pirates of Spelunker Cave, along with I will be going back and doing the Titan, all the intense stuff, because I did grow up doing some of those as well. Once I got over my fear of roller coasters, but yeah, no, just imagine like your favorite dark ride, and then you go back 10 years later, and then they just replace it with something that's crazy and different. But yeah, this was the only exposure I had to any dark ride other than Disney here at Six Flags Over Texas. Yeah. So yeah, sad that it happened. Also, they used to have the classic cars think Autopia Tomorrowland Speedway, but they're like the classic cars that sit higher up with the bigger wheels, like the Model Ts.
Yeah.
They had that. When I was a kid, it was the classic cars, and you drive around, and it was good. It's near France. It's now the classic cars. It's between Texas and France, but now there are dinosaurs everywhere. I don't know. On one side, you have Pirates of Spelunker Cave. On the other side of the sidewalk, you have a dinosaur that's 30 feet tall looking right at you. And it's...
Would you consider this to be a theme park?
This ain't no. This is something else. But I feel like it used to be a theme park. I feel like they used to have concerts. I looked up the bands that used to play at the amphitheater at Six Flags. I went to see Switchfoot there, but they had big names there.
Switchfoot, what a throwback.
Yeah, shout out to Switchfoot. It was Switchfoot and Mute Math. I'll never forget. It's my first concert. But they had huge bands there that were like headlining acts playing at Six Flags, and like the park would be open all day, and then it would close, and then the concert would happen, and like it was like this whole thing. They don't do shows at that amphitheater anymore. It's just sitting there abandoned.
That's so interesting. I'd be interested to know what the annual attendance at this park is. I'm going to see if I can find it.
It can't be high. And I think I tried to look it up and I couldn't find it, but I tried to look up their revenue numbers year to year, and that's where I got into like all the bankruptcy stuff, and I was like, oh, well, okay.
Sad.
That explains it. Fun fact, before I had a real job, I wanted to build roller coasters, and I was not desperate.
Also,
I was like,
it is a real job to build roller coasters as well.
No. Before I had a real job, like before I got hired onto the job that I'm currently at, coming out of college, I went to Six Flags to do a job interview, and I ended up in like the pool of like them interviewing, like training for attraction attendants and stuff. And I was like, this isn't quite what I was like. But even going through that experience was interesting as well. But
interesting.
Yeah. So
their average attendance is 3 million visitors a year.
Wow. And they're open on weekends and here's another thing. Okay. The hours of Six Flags are astonishing. Let me see what if I can find the hours. The hours are hard to find. It just says it's closed. There's the calendar. Let's see. Park hours calendar. This is on my Six Flags app because I'm a pass holder, so this is just how we do. Okay. So weekends open 11 a.m., 8 p.m., 11 p.m., 9 p.m. Closed Monday through Friday. Monday through Thursday.
Oh, so they're only open on the weekends.
Only open on the weekends. Mm-hmm. When we were there, they were also open on the weekdays for spring break, but the hours were so weird. They were only open from like 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. And I just thought the operations side of my brain was just like, it has to cost more money to open and close the park and keep it open for 4, 5, 6 hours and then close it. Like, there has to be like, I don't know, the overhead to do that versus the number of guests that are coming. I can't see them making money. I'm just worried is where I want to get with all of this.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. This is like a beloved theme park for you. It's where so many of your childhood memories are.
Theme park with an asterisk, but yes.
Amusement park.
I'm worried. I am excited to go back and do like the Runaway Mine Train. The Runaway Mine Train was an indoor coaster. Think Rock and Roller Coaster, but not quite to that level. But that was huge when that opened here. That was a new attraction when I was growing up. The Rapids were shut down. It is early season, so maybe it'll open up later summer. The Log Flume was running. They used to have one of those bobsled coasters. I forgot the name of it. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like It goes up and it kind of just is a free roaming in the bobsled. It's like in a little slide.
When you say bobsled coaster, my brain immediately goes to Matterhorn.
No. It doesn't have tracks. So it has tracks on the lift hill, and then after you go down the lift hill, it turns into a half pipe. You're in a car, and it's a train that is going free through the half pipe.
I've never done that before.
Yeah, it's closed now, so you won't ever be able to.
I do have stats on theme park attendance. This was for 2023,
All right,
and I don't think Six Flags Over Texas has cracked the top 20, and this only gives the top 20. So you've got...
this is Texas or America?
This is America. So
Okay.
number
Nationwide.
one is always Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom was at 17.7 million people. Disneyland at number 2, Epcot number 3, Hollywood Studios 4, Islands of Adventure 5, California Adventure 6. The first 6, Knott's Berry Farm at number 11.
I know.
Let's go
Knott's
Knott's.
Berry's in there, which Knott's was also didn't feel very crowded.
Right. Cedar Point is number 12, and Cedar Point is probably the number one park that I want to visit out of state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the list.
Yeah. Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, let's go. Number 13. Love to see it.
I would like to try that out. Did Busch Gardens have the Superman launch ride?
No.
Where it like launches up? Am I thinking of a different one?
Yeah, I think that's Cedar Point.
Cedar Point?
I think
maybe
so.
that's where shout out to Popular Mechanics for Kids. They did a theme park episode that defined part of my personality. I used to get it from the library.
A couple weeks ago, I went with Luke to the Orlando Science Center, and they did STEM to start the day, and we were in a STEM lab, and this would have been like so Hunter Hazen, but it was a STEM lab, and we walked into the room, and they were like, all right, today we're gonna talk about how to build a roller coaster. And so the entire lesson that day for all the kids on this field trip was how to build a coaster and like what is the physics behind a coaster. And then they gave them all tubes and marbles and these like stanchion things to make their own roller coasters and see if they could make 2 loops go from the tube in order to get the marble in a cup. You would have been like, this is my best life right here. But
I do love that.
Yeah.
Good problem solving.
Anyways, the first Six Flags that shows up is Six Flags Magic Mountain, and that's number 16.
One of the bigger one, yeah.
That's in California, right?
That is north of that was like 15
north of
minutes
LA.
north of
Yeah.
Well, not 15 minutes. An hour and 15 minutes. 15 minutes as the crow flies.
Yeah, it's like in the valley. Or like not in the valley because it's in
north
the
of
mountains,
Hollywood,
but
right?
Yeah. And then Six Flags Great America. Where is that? I don't know.
Somewhere.
Either. And then Six Flags
It's in America.
Great Adventure. What are those two?
They were other parks that were acquired by Six Flags and renamed. I do know that, I think. When I was looking up
Six
some
Flags
history,
Over
but
Texas is not on the list.
No, it is struggling.
Well, I hope that it like gets better for you because I know how much Great
And
America is in Illinois.
Yeah. I will say, Bash, my 4-year-old, had a great time. And I know I'm talking about this through the critical eyes of someone who experienced it as a kid and is now an adult and can see all these things now. But he was there, and he was like, "Wow, this is great! Oh, I love this." He loved the Batwing. And meanwhile, I'm sitting there looking over the edge and looking at like the chip paint all over the ride vehicle. I'm like, "This thing is in shambles." I wonder. And he's in there like, "This is awesome! This is like the show!" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, we're having fun."
See, I almost wonder though if that was your perspective when you were a child and you were not paying attention to those details. Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. Now, I do think the details make the difference for a theme park for sure. Like if you go to Disney, it's not often. It happens, but it's not often that you see chip paint everywhere. Or and
I will say,
people are
I will say that where it's like, granted, it's been 20 years since I was experiencing it as a kid, right? So a lot of the stuff that I experienced as a kid 20 years ago still there.
Yeah.
The cloud hopper in Boomtown, that little pneumatic like psst, psst, that's the actual sound effects. I just pulled them and inserted them.
Right.
But that thing where it's for kids, exact same.
Yeah.
Haven't switched it out.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah.
It's sun bleached on the signage. It's
so it could just use a little bit of like.
But
paint
like
job.
That was newer when I was a kid, so I know it was at least in better condition.
Right. Well, there's attractions that have been at Walt Disney World that were long before we were even born.
But they're in great shape.
Right, for 50 years. But that's because of the quality, for sure. And I mean, there's definitely a difference between Six Flags
and there's things you see in Six Flags, like the landscaping. I'm looking around and I'm like, there's some trash here, and we haven't cut the grass in 2 weeks. I'm a lawn dad, so I know when you need, got to cut the grass every week now in Texas. It's growing. But I don't know.
That's unfortunate.
I feel critical. I feel icky, but I want to go back.
It's okay to be disappointed in the experience for sure. But I also think it's okay also to lower your expectations a little bit, because it's been.
I just expect it to be perfect. Is that too much to ask? I want to see it through the eyes of 9-year-old me.
Yeah.
Like
do that.
Yeah, it's too late. It's too late.
And yeah, clearly, like your 4-year-old was seeing it in such a positive light.
Yeah, he enjoyed it. So maybe I do want to say the silver lining there. Like he loved it. They were on the way to the cars. We did the vintage cars twice. I didn't even say this. They're the vintage cars, but they literally like put new body panels on, but kept the wheels in the front the same to make them like a safari Jeep. And I'm like, I kind of see what you're doing here, but it didn't really work out. But on the way to that, you go through this walkway, which is a bridge that crosses over a pond, which has fallen trees and all kinds of swamp stuff going on that they haven't picked up. That's what I'm looking at.
I was like, intentionally?
No, not intentionally. But as I'm looking at that stuff, he is leaping from dinosaur track to dinosaur track and being like, "Oh, this is amazing!"
So
and I'm leaping with him. But listen, the dinosaur tracks are painted on, and there's only 20% of them left. They were painted on 10 years ago.
But he can see it. It doesn't matter. Suspend your disbelief.
And then there was one that's like you can only see like a square inch of paint, and he's like, "You missed one. You missed one." I'm like, "Buddy, that ain't a track anymore. That's just a paint splotch." But no, his imagination is alive and well. Mine has died many years ago.
That's so sad.
But yeah. So what else? What else? Six Flags didn't eat there. I don't know. I have like I bought the annual pass at Knott's Berry Farm. The ticket to Knott's was $60. I think to upgrade it was like $150 for the all parks pass and everything. And I am determined to be like, yeah, you ain't getting it out of me. Like I'm gonna clock in. I'm gonna get my free parking, get my park entry. I'm gonna head out. I'm not gonna be spending $40 on food and all kinds of stuff. No merch for me. I did peek and see if they had some Six Flags stuff. They do have a Six Flags T-shirt, but I'll wait for you to come, and then we can get a Six Flags T-shirt.
No.
Only if we go together do we earn the T-shirt. So
I appreciate that. I can't lie and say that I'm not going to buy an Epic Universe T-shirt when I go.
No, you have to wait for me to be there. Maybe next year.
Sorry.
But
next year? No.
Bash is getting close to being able to ride Shockwave, which is a looping roller coaster, really old. But it is a double looping roller coaster. The height is 42 inches. I'm pretty sure he's there. That'll be next for him, I think. It's high up. It's not a low coaster. It goes down.
First, like, upside down coaster for him, then.
It is meant to be everyone's first upside down roller coaster, pretty much. Like it lift hill, turn around, down, 2 loops, and then back in the station.
I wish that Luke had something like that, but his was rock and roller coaster.
Wide eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was Ethan's first too. Yeah, it was. Ripping off of Band-Aid. That's cool. Yep. That's exciting. I'm glad. I mean, I'm sad that it wasn't what you wanted it to be, but I do think that the moral of the story here is that you can just try to see it through the eyes of a kiddo, and also hopefully Six Flags pays attention to that eventually and does.
Yeah, hopefully they listen to us and change
just
their ways, change their entire business plan.
No, I mean just pays attention to the details of the park, for sure. But
yeah, the detail. It's long story short, the details are obviously being neglected, which is very unfortunate. I am connected to this park as my home park. It's like if Busch Gardens, you went back and you're like, what's happening here? Like they've just let it go, Yeah, I mean, I have a different expectation going into Busch Gardens than I do if I go to Walt Disney World, because it is different. I would like you. I'm excited for you to come to Six Flags then. Yeah, I'm excited for you to be like, Hunter, you're being critical, or maybe we'll do an episode after that and you'll be like, I see what you're saying. I'm excited for you to experience Busch Gardens too, to see if like how it compares for Six Flags for you, because that was probably the park that well, I can't say that because I went to Walt Disney World all the time too, but I went to Busch Gardens a lot when I was a kid, for sure, especially in high school. So yeah. Well, Yeah, I think that's all I got. Oh, they repainted the Titan to a new shade of blue. It's no longer orange. It's still orange on the app's map. I don't know if they're going to change it, but it just got a new paint job, so they're trying.
You should get a job at Six Flags. Seriously, work your way up in leadership.
That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen.
You could totally redo the entire park.
Yeah, with all the money that they're gonna allocate me, I'd get in and they'd say, "All right, your operating budget for the year is $72,000. Good luck."
But maybe you could do more with that than what they're currently doing, and then
honestly, I don't think so. I don't know. I did not set foot in every square inch of the park. I need to go on my own, and then I can do some vlogging, some filming, and I was very much just me and Bash there. I did wonder I didn't do anything.
What happened, because you had texted me and you were like, "I'm taking Bash to Six Flags. I'm going to put some stories up," and I was like, "Okay," and then
I got sad.
Yeah.
I got sad. Honestly.
I even teased it on our Instagram story that day. So
did you?
Sorry to everybody. Sorry to everybody that didn't happen. But it was the week we didn't have an episode, and I was like, "Don't worry though, there's some fun stuff coming on the stories." Nothing ever happened. And I was like, "Oh no."
I
didn't go well.
I felt a little bad, but then I don't know. I get in a mode where, especially if I'm there with him, I want to just be there with him too. I have a really hard time. Okay, let me post this on my phone, and then because I was there one-on-one with him, I wasn't there like it wasn't me, him, and Maddie for him to like hang out with Maddie, and I can go sit on a bench and do that, and then come back.
You're present with your kids, and also that's just your personality type as well. You're not a huge like multitask kind of guy. Like you don't call like. If you're driving,
well, I want to be present with him too. I don't want him to look up and be like, "Dad, hey,
no, for
hey."
Sure. Yeah, especially being at a new park together. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I say all that to say, when I take Luke to Epic Universe, I'll definitely be like posting stories and stuff like that. But
see, I would go in, even Epic Universe. I'd go in and be like, "Yeah, I really want to do that," but if I was there, I probably wouldn't end up doing it. Just not intentionally. I would just be like. I just don't get to it. I don't know. Even if I went just me and you, I feel like I would take a bunch of photos, but I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna live post stories. But I've never been
when
good
we were in Disneyland together, like, well, we weren't together, but I was thinking while we were not together that you were going to be like storying and stuff, and you just never did.
I tried, dude. I filmed. Hey, we're here with food and wine. And I was like, idiot. You sound like...
See, that's what it can boil down to, too. You overthink a lot of it. But I understand wanting to be present with your kids.
And everybody started looking at me because I'm filming I said the same things 5 times in a row, and I'm standing by the railing in the corner, and they're like, what's wrong? What's that guy's problem?
Nobody thought that.
And then at that point, I was like, this isn't going to work, so...
Well, I think you should be confident because you absolutely do a great job at it, and you should just do it.
We did, but like Knott's... Like, we're there just hanging out, When I'm by myself, if I got on here to record an episode by myself, I don't know if I know what to say.
Really? I think you've done solo recordings with Happiest Podcast.
No.
Before. Yes, you have.
Maybe once.
Hunter's World, there's been multiple of those.
Yeah, and those are just, I don't know. I try.
I think you second guess yourself too much. I think you do a great job at what you do for sure, but... That's another conversation for a different day. We can get into that and unpack that in your psyche later.
That's in the future.
But I do think you should share more for sure. I think it's good. I mean, it. I get it. It's weird because you being like, oh, I want to be present with my kid. I go to the parks a lot and story, but what I'm doing is I'm capturing. I mean, yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
It's fine. It's what I do.
We're just opposites. It's just the way it is.
It's okay.
It's okay that we're.
It's not that I'm not present with my kids. I'm definitely present with them. But I take 15, 30 seconds to capture a moment, and then usually what I do is post the stories later. So like I'm not doing it usually live while there. I'll save everything and then get home, and once they go to bed, that's when I sit and like upload everything. And sometimes I do it while I'm there if we're just chilling. But we go to these parks very regularly as well. So
yeah.
Anyways,
sure. All right. Well,
it's been real.
What is the title of our episode?
I don't know. I was thinking that a minute ago.
I thought about making it Six Flags, but I mean, we took a while to get to
I think
Six
we
Flags.
go life updates
and I'm scared for Six Flags.
And Six Flags over Texas.
I thought about just making it, I'm worried about Six Flags, but then people will click on it and be like, where's the Six Flags? And you got to go an hour in. But, you know, we just chit chat.
It was good to catch up for sure. What is the question of the week?
Were you homeschooled? That was one.
No, we're not doing that.
Why? We need to all band together. We need to build our community of homeschoolers and theme park lovers.
But I think we have to have like another question of the week. What is, if you celebrate Easter, what is an Easter tradition of yours?
What was the Easter tradition you did?
Sure.
How did you celebrate?
Or do every year?
And were you homeschooled?
Or yeah.
And have you been to Six Flags over Texas?
Sure.
Just answer A, B, and C. We need all of those answered.
There you go.
If you get to this point, I mean, you might as well comment.
It's true.
You kind of are obliged. You need to. Yeah. Honestly, it's your responsibility. To be fair.
It's been great catching up.
Yeah.
I've got lots to do.
Nick wants me to get off now. Okay. Hint taken. We will return to Six Flags over Texas. This is not the end. This was a mere first impression. Yeah. Good one? No, but we'll try again.
One day I'll go. One day. I don't know when, but one day.
When you come, we're doing Six Flags over Texas, Fiesta Texas, Schlitterbahn. We're doing the whole corridor. Yeah. It's happening.
I don't know when that's going to happen, but one day.
November. We talked about this.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Silver Dollar City's happening this year. Your trip is coming this fall. It's happening.
To Silver Dollar City? Oh, no. You are going to Silver.
Hey, that invite is open. That's coming up.
Like in 2 weeks.
We are 2 weeks away.
Yeah, I don't think I can pinch out a trip. Did you let's rewind when I said that 2 weeks of May already I'm booked.
But this is early May.
That's not gonna fly.
Yeah, this is the part you have free, so might as well book something.
I have a wife who is very pregnant.
Bring her along.
Yeah, no.
Bring her along. Definitely they got a train ride. They got all kinds of stuff in order. No.
She's not getting on an airplane right now.
Just drive up, the morning of. We'll go to the park and then you can drive home.
Drive to Florida from Florida.
Yeah, it's close, right?
Yeah.
It's over there in the east. I mean, it's just an other state,
State, yeah.
Other. It's somewhere right around here, right? Other state.
I wonder how long of a drive it is from here. Anyways, it's been real.
It's been real, yeah.
It says it is a 17-and-a-half-hour drive.
Oh my gosh! That's longer than my drive's gonna be.
Well, yeah, I'm in Florida.
I just thought it was closer in my mind.
What? No.
Yeah. Well, if you still want to come, invite's open. So if you don't come, that's just because you don't want to. Anyways, thanks everyone for listening. That was Six Flags over Texas. Why we're worried about it. We caught up, talked about things. Are you homeschooled? What'd you do for Easter?
All right. Goodbye.
Have you been to Six Flags over Texas? Bye-bye.